The weather was unseasonably cold for September as I climbed into the attic, armed with boxes and cleaning supplies. After 15 years of marriage, Marcus had announced he wanted a divorce, and I was determined to sort through everything before he could twist the story in his favor. My name is Diana Walker, and until 3 days ago I thought I knew who my husband was. We met in college. He was the charming business major everyone adored, and I was the quiet computer science student who somehow caught his eye. Or at least that's how he always told it. I pulled another box toward me labeled Old Electronics. Inside was a tangle of cords, chargers, and outdated devices. At the bottom I found Marcus's old laptop from his first job after graduation. "You can throw all that away," his voice startled me. He stood at the top of the attic stairs watching me with that new icy detachment. "None of it works anymore." I clutched the laptop closer. "I'll sort through it myself, thanks." He shrugged, that familiar dismissive gesture that had become his signature move lately. "Suit yourself. Just make sure you're done by the weekend. I want this wrapped up quickly." Of course he did. He'd already begun telling people his version of events. How I'd grown distant, how I'd failed to support his career, how I'd changed. Our friends were already taking sides, most believing his carefully crafted story without question. After he left, I examined the laptop more closely. It was ancient, at least 12 years old, and probably dead. Still, something made me want to check. I plugged it in, pressed the power button, and waited. Nothing. I was about to give up when I remembered something from my hardware recovery classes in college. Sometimes, even when a laptop won't boot, you can still access the hard drive. Carefully, I removed the drive and connected it to my external reader. For a moment, nothing happened. Then my screen flickered to life. Most folders were empty or corrupted, but one caught my eye. Bath under 208. Inside was a single, partially deleted video file. My hands trembled as I ran recovery software. Nearly an hour later, the video played. The timestamp read October 15, 2008, 2 months after Marcus started at Palmer Financial. The footage was shaky, clearly recorded on an old phone, but the audio was sharp. "Just sign here, Mr. Reynolds. Everything's taken care of," Marcus's voice said smoothly. The elderly man in the video looked confused. "But," my daughter said. "Your daughter doesn't understand finance like I do," Marcus interrupted. "Trust me, this is the best option for your retirement. Sign here and here." My stomach twisted. I remembered Mr. Reynolds, one of Marcus's first clients, a widower with a sizable retirement fund. 6 months after this video, he lost everything in what Marcus had called a market downturn. But the video didn't end there. After Mr. Reynolds left, Marcus turned toward someone off camera. "That's all of it," he grinned. "The old man didn't even read the transfer documents. By the time anyone figures it out, the money'll be long gone." "You sure about this?" another voice asked. Marcus laughed. "Who's going to find out? The trades are buried under shell companies. Besides, who'd believe him over me? I'm the golden boy around here." I stopped the video, my pulse pounding. This wasn't just unethical, it was criminal. I dug back into the drive, searching for anything else that had survived deletion. Most files were corrupted beyond recovery, but I found fragments. Emails, spreadsheets, more videos. Each piece painted a clearer picture. Marcus hadn't just scammed Mr. Reynolds. There were dozens of victims. He'd stolen millions through hidden transactions while building his spotless reputation as one of Boston's most respected financial advisors. No wonder he wanted that laptop gone. My phone buzzed. A message from Sarah. "My best friend since college. How could you do this to him? He gave you everything and you just checked out of the marriage. He's heartbroken." I stared at the screen, fury rising. Marcus had always been good at playing the victim, twisting perception until people saw exactly what he wanted them to. He'd done it with friends, with clients, probably with me too. But not this time. With steady hands, I copied everything from the hard drive. Then I opened my laptop and began doing what I did best, following the digital trail. If there was one thing I'd learned in 15 years of marriage to Marcus, it was that men like him never stop at just one lie. That video from 2008 was only the beginning. I worked through the night, fingers flying over the keyboard. My cute and nerdy computer science skills Marcus had always mocked, were now my sharpest weapons. By morning I'd mapped the whole scheme. The fraud hadn't stopped in 2008, it had only evolved. Marcus had built his entire career on deception, using each success to target bigger clients, bigger accounts. He'd hidden it well, but in the digital age, nothing is ever truly deleted. I was cross-referencing bank records when I heard him coming up the attic stairs again. "Still at it?" he asked, leaning in the doorway. "You know, Diana, this would be easier if you just accepted it's over. Sign the papers, take the settlement, and we can both move on." I looked up at him, really looked at him. The charming smile, the confident stance, all part of the performance. Had I ever truly known this man? "I just need a little more time," I said carefully. He frowned. "There's nothing to process. We're done." His voice hardened. "Unless you're planning to make this difficult." I thought about the evidence sitting on my drive. About the lives he'd ruined. "No," I said softly. "No difficulties. I just need a few more days." He studied me, then nodded. 3 days, Diana. Then I want those divorce papers signed." As soon as he left, I picked up my phone. "Mike? It's Diana Walker. I know it's been years, but I need your help. It's about Marcus." Mike Chin, my old study partner from advanced encryption, was now a forensic accountant specializing in financial fraud. If anyone could help me piece this together, it was him. "Send me everything," he said after I explained. "And Diana, be careful. Men like Marcus, when they realize they're about to lose everything, can get dangerous." I watched Marcus drive away in his luxury car, bought with stolen money. "I know," I whispered. "But he's not the only one who can play the long game." 3 days. That's all I had, to unravel 15 years of lies. Game on, Marcus. "Accounts this sophisticated, and this illegal," Mike said, scanning the data on his monitor. "Can we trace it?" I asked. He nodded slowly. "With time, yes. But Diana," he hesitated, his expression grave. "This isn't just about your divorce anymore. This is major securities fraud. People's lives have been destroyed." "I know," I said quietly. "That's why I came to you. I need to know what to do next." Mike leaned back in his chair, thinking. "First, we secure everything you found. I'll bring in a few colleagues, people I trust. They specialize in this kind of fraud. Then we build the case properly." He paused, his voice softening. "And Diana, you need to be very careful. Marcus can't know you found any of this." I thought about Marcus's face in the attic, the flash of hardness in his eyes. "He won't," I said. "I've gotten pretty good at playing my part." For the next 48 hours, I lived a double life.By day. I played the role of the soon-to-be ex-wife, sorting through boxes, avoiding Marcus's cold stares, pretending to be defeated. By night, I worked with Mike and his team, piecing together the full extent of Marcus's crimes. The numbers were staggering. Over 15 years, he'd stolen more than $12 million from clients, targeting those least likely to fight back. Elderly retirees, widowed spouses, people who trusted his charming smile and spotless reputation. "He's good," one of Mike's colleagues muttered as we analyzed another string of transactions. The layering, the fake investments, the shell companies. If you hadn't found that video, this would have stayed buried forever. But I had found it. And there was no going back. The morning of the 3rd day, the day I was supposed to sign the divorce papers, I walked downstairs to find Marcus waiting in the kitchen, a neat stack of documents in front of him. "Time's up," he said pleasantly, sliding the papers toward me. "Let's get this done." I sat across from him, studying his face. Somewhere behind that polished mask was the man I'd once loved. The college student who used to bring me coffee during late-night study sessions, who'd promised to love me forever. "Before I sign," I said carefully, "I want to talk about the settlement." His eyes narrowed slightly. "We've been through this. The prep is clear. You get the house and a monthly payment. More than fair, considering." "Considering what?" "Considering you've contributed nothing to my success," he snapped, his mask slipping. "I built everything we have, Diana. My career, my reputation." "Your lies," I said before I could stop myself. He went still. "What did you just say?" I forced my voice calm. "Nothing. Just thinking about how things turned out." He relaxed slightly, though suspicion still flickered in his eyes. "Sign the papers, Diana. Then we can both move on." I picked up the pen, steady now. "You're right," I said softly. "Time to move on." I signed each line, watching the satisfaction grow on his face. He thought he'd won, that he'd managed to discard me as easily as all those clients he'd betrayed. Perfect, he said, gathering the papers. I'll have my lawyer file these today. Don't worry about moving out immediately. Take a few days to pack. He stood, straightening his expensive tie, the picture of success. Oh, and Diana, he added at the door, I know this is hard, but you'll thank me someday. You're just not cut out for the kind of life I live. I waited until his car pulled away before dialing my phone. Mike? He signed just like you said he would. Good, Mike replied grimly. Because we're ready. The FBI is very interested in everything we found. What happened next unfolded exactly as planned. While Marcus was at his office, probably congratulating himself on his clean break, federal agents were executing search warrants at every location we'd identified. His office, his storage units, even a secret apartment tied to one of his shell companies. I was sitting in the living room when I heard cars pulling into the driveway. Through the window, I watched Marcus step out of his BMW, only to be met by 2 FBI agents. Marcus Walker, one said clearly. We need you to come with us. We have some questions about your business practices. Marcus froze. Then he looked up, his eyes meeting mine through the glass. In that moment I saw it, the realization that his perfect world was collapsing. I held up the old laptop so he could see it. The aftermath came faster and slower than I expected. The evidence was overwhelming. Not just the files from the laptop, but everything Mike's team uncovered once they knew where to look. Marcus's entire career had been built on deception. Each success only funded a bigger scam. Within weeks, the story was everywhere. Respected advisor charged in massive fraud scheme, the headlines read. Former clients came forward, each with their own story of betrayal. The man who'd spent years cultivating his image as Boston's golden boy was exposed as nothing more than a polished thief. Sarah, my former best friend, called me in tears. Diana, I'm so sorry, she sobbed. I should have believed you. Yes, I said quietly. You should have. I didn't tell her about the laptop or my role in exposing everything. Let her think it was fate or karma. Some friendships can't be repaired. 6 months later, I sat in the courtroom as Marcus was sentenced. He pled guilty, hoping for leniency, but the judge wasn't feeling generous. 20 years in federal prison, plus restitution to his victims. He looked older then, stripped of his designer suits and arrogance. As they led him away, he glanced back at me one last time. I met his gaze steadily, remembering all the times he'd dismissed me, belittled me, treated me as less. The quiet computer science student he once mocked had brought down his entire empire. After the sentencing, Mike found me outside the courthouse. You okay? He asked gently. I thought about it. My 15-year marriage had been a lie. My husband was going to prison. Most of our friends had vanished. But for the first time in years I felt free. Yeah, I said finally. I think I am. A week later I sold the house. The proceeds, along with everything Marcus and I had owned, went into a fund for his victims. I kept only what I'd earned myself. I moved into a small apartment near the tech company where I'd just accepted a new job, head of cybersecurity. The irony wasn't lost on me. My cute little computer skills had proven far more valuable than Marcus's so-called financial genius. Sometimes, late at night, I think about that old laptop, how close I came to throwing it away. One small decision changed everything. But mostly I think about what I learned. The truth has a way of surviving. Of waiting. Of resurfacing when someone finally looks deep enough. Marcus spent 15 years building his empire of lies, but he forgot one crucial fact. In the digital age, nothing is ever truly deleted. Not files. Not fraud. And certainly not the truth. I keep that laptop now, cleaned, restored, silent. Not because I need it, but as a reminder. Justice doesn't always come from confrontation. Sometimes it comes from quiet persistence, and from the ones everyone underestimates. Marcus never saw me coming. He only saw what he wanted to see, the quiet wife, the background figure in his perfect life. But sometimes the quietest people are the ones you should watch most carefully. Because we're the ones who see everything. Who wait patiently. And who know that the truth, like a deleted file, is always there, if you know where to look.